Good morning, everyone. All you brave souls coming out in the rain and not turning over in bed and going back to bed. I'm very impressed. I am Kathi Sommers. I'm your worship associate this morning, joined by Skip Lunborg. Our third member, Joanne Husky, is unfortunately unwell. She came back from her travels sick, but we will miss her. And Skip and I are going to try to be Joanne today. And since Joanne is probably watching on Facebook or going to watch on YouTube, let's all wish her well. And at the count of 3, let's say, feel better, Joanne. 1, 2, 3. Feel better, Joanne. Okay, so doesn't that feel good to do something nice for somebody? And if you're feeling nice about that, you can act on some of these things, the announcements that I'm going to give you in just a minute. So remember that feeling. Skip, who joins me today, is a long-term 40-year member of the Methodist Church. He was a Methodist minister for a number of years. He and Tony have been members here for 9 years, and Mead and I have been here similarly amount of time. We'll be speaking today about our service theme, which is Remembering 2024. Pause. We almost made it to the end of this crazy year. Whether you're here in the sanctuary or watching us on Facebook Live at home, there actually are a few people on the pavilion. Good morning. Please know you're always welcome here. Ours is a welcoming community, freely seeking spiritual and intellectual growth. We strive to create a larger community of peace, justice, and love, and we try to live our values out in the world. If you're new to our congregation, our hope is to make you feel welcome and help you find ways to connect. If you found us online for the first time, email us at office@uunaples.org so we can include you in our mailings and let you know about the things that are happening here. And this is what we want you to remember in case you're not reading your emails. Next weekend, January 5th, we'll kick off our stewardship campaign. We'll welcome your pledges, which help maintain our quality programs here at UUCN, and support our staff, who are just so hardworking. I mean, putting together a service like that, even with 3 of us and some help from Tony, it really makes you aware of how much work it is. So there are also openings for 4 more people in our chalice circles. These are wonderful ways to get to know people and to think a little deeper. The material is rich and compelling. The times are Mondays and Wednesdays, Mondays 10 to 11:30 or Wednesdays 10 to 11:30. So see Al Curran or Nancy Carroll. I don't know if we're going to be on the patio today, but you can find them. After the service, you'll have the opportunity to bid on an item at the auction, silent auction. There are lots of fun events to bid on, and the money goes to support our work here at UUCGN. And it's now in the Thomas Hall, not out in the rain. The forum next week will host Steve Gunther, who has been instrumental in creating the Bonita Estero Rail Trail, BERT. And please check our newsletter for more exciting information about our book clubs, art shows, music, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so now please take a deep breath and let's settle ourselves into this time of worship with the morning's prelude. We have a wonderful music program here. Thanks, Abby and Sean. The opening words that Joanne has written, and I'm going to read. As Toni Morrison said, this is precisely the time when artists go to work. There's no time for despair, no place for self-pity, no need for silence, no room for fear. We speak, we write, we do language. That is how civilizations heal. So with that in mind today, the three of us have crafted poems to sum up this roller coaster of a year. We hope to both help you reflect on all that's happened and to give you some hope for the coming year, which will undoubtedly be one for the records. History is rife with awful times, when men were lost and failed to miss the mark as human beings. But it's also full of moments and entire eras of incredible resilience, when struggling men and women not only survived, but learned how to thrive. When love triumphed and humans acted on the goodness within. Men are capable of both terrible evil and chaos, and powerful creativity and cooperation. Depression, fear, anxiety, withdrawal do nothing but make us feel bad. Most of us here believe that the better angels of human beings will prevail and, in fact, turn history toward an improved, more productive, caring, kinder future. Individuals can start movements, and these movements can create quantum change. We've witnessed this happen. It matters what we do. We decide how we want to live. So listen today to our review of the year past and begin to think and plan about how you will move into the coming year. Then go home and make a commitment to yourself to live and act in accordance with your highest values. And just as an aside, I've always hated the word resolutions. I have this thing about fear of failure, and you might ask why I'm standing up here. Anyway, the word resolute, I looked up today. It means purposeful and determined. Now that to me is different from making a resolution. I can be purposeful and determined. So now we will go to the opening hymn, We Are a Gentle and Angry People, and the words will be on the screen.
Chalice lighting first.
Oh, chalice lighting first? I think on the, okay, so we're going to sing the hymn first.
Gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
You may be seated. Okay, now we'll do the chalice lighting. The words will be on the screen. We light this flame to remind us that each of us has a light to shine in the darkness, and from one flame, many will glow until we prevail and fill the earth with light. We light this flame to remind us that each of us has a light to shine in the darkness, and from one flame, many will glow until we prevail and fill the earth with light.
In case you're wondering, we are at that point in the service where it says, what happened in 24 by Joanne Husky, read by Kathi Sommers. Part of that's true and part of it is not. It was indeed written by Joanne. So I'm going to invite you to imagine with me that the presenter of this material is a tall, good-looking, dark-haired woman. It's a better choice than what you see before you, so go for it. This is what Joanne has prepared for the opening part of our series about what happened in 2024. Way back in the first part of 2024, we found an anchor. We focused on reducing the rancor. We hoped civility would heal our divides. Faith in our nation was still running high. We would rebuild our infrastructure. No bridges would fail. Zelensky, courageous, his defiance prevail. Excited by chat, GPT, and emerging AI, although the war in Ukraine we all did decry, our president said that the West would certainly win and finally stop the nasty Putin. Our economy improving and COVID subsided, though our media continued to make us divided against hate, anti-Semitism, racism, and greed. We thought our respect for each other would succeed. While Biden was aging, we all could see. We knew he was a man full of integrity. Joe continued the fight against climate change, put reasonable controls on guns that cause pain. Women's basketball was the talk of the day. To Taylor Swift's music, we all did sway. SpaceX Starship impressed us, rising in the air. With the stock market changes, we did not despair. Unemployment was down, yet our groceries cost more. Endless storms and floods we all did deplore. Our Congress tried impeaching, while teachers were not teaching. No talk of race or loving same-sex was allowed. Books banned from libraries, and teachers were cowed. No African American history, no DEI, affirmative action no longer applied. Florida stopped abortions after weeks 15 and made it to 6. But women united to create a fix. We got 1 million to sign a citizen's plea and placed a ballot initiative to set women free. Letters to the editor, postcard writing, anything we could start, crying out for sanity, hoping our nation would prove smart. As our courts were listening to trials of dastardly acts, we all struggled to keep our confidence intact. As we moved toward April, our spirits were sagging. Mass shootings continued. Faith in our country began flagging. A sobering pause as we saw Oppenheimer on our screens. What did men do? What does this mean? Could we fail once again to protect humanity? Are we capable again of sinking into insanity? The year careened on, as we shall see in a bit. You will soon hear the drama, joy, and trauma, each part of it. Don't lose hope. We will move on. Our systems of democracy must remain strong. This is a republic, if you can keep it. As Ben Franklin said, in the next year, let's exercise our rights, not give up in dread. Our centering hymn is number 108, and I think the words will be on the screen.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. when friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
Today, as we pass the mic around the room, we would like you to share with us some hope, some action, some thought you have for the coming year that inspires you and may trigger a spark of positive love for others in the congregation or on Zoom this morning. So as I pass the mic around, I'd like today's joys and sorrows to be personal, of course, but something to share to which many of us can aspire in the coming year. I can hardly wait to see all these hands. Is that on? Oh, look at all those hands. Come on. You can be inspired. Okay, all the way in the back. And the rest of you, I'm going to start calling on names.
Good morning. I'm Jo DiVincenzi. And 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of getting to know Jean Procopo, who many of you know has been a longtime member here. Jean is one of those people watching at home. She's at Bentley Village. She can no longer attend the services, but boy, is she still active. So she joined 2 years ago Carbon Crew to learn how she could reduce her carbon footprint, even at Bentley Village. And she went about looking at food waste and talking to them about food, and just an amazing woman. So we send her our minutes of our meetings. Jean wrote to me last week, and I want to share it with you. Thanks for your continued efforts. I almost gave up on my idea of promoting the construction of a roof with solar panels over the parking lot here at Bentley. But I read that France has just mandated that such solar roofs are required, she writes in parentheses, I assume over new construction. Right now, I'm in a low energy point, but maybe in the future, I will get my act together. So, on 3, would you join me in wishing Jean a very uplifting get better soon? 1, 2, 3. Jean, get better soon.
That is really inspiring. I can imagine her on the ladder.
Very briefly, having given up on having any family here for Christmas, I got a text yesterday, and my daughter is coming for a whirlwind visit over New Year's.
Yay.
Good morning. I'm Dennis Naiman. I'm a seasonal visitor. My joy is that the U.S. Peace Memorial Foundation has honored the American Friends Committee for all of their work advancing nonviolence. I hope that you'll take a peek at the website of the U.S. Peace Memorial Foundation, originated in Florida.
Thank you. Okay, I'm looking for hands. Okay, Steve, good. Here, I'll start over here. You're on the spot.
Yeah, it happened so quickly. Okay, well, I'm just going to say what's in my heart. Oh, stand up, Camila, stand up.
Put it close.
Yep. Just got to get it together. Suddenly, a wave of nervousness.
Do you want to
went
wait till
over me.
Steve goes?
And so I just have to get it together. Well, honestly, I am so grateful for this community. Keep it together, kid. I just really am grateful for this community and each and every one of you. I'm pretty sure I've said at least hello, and if I haven't yet, today is the day. So thank you for showing up. You are appreciated. Oop, the tears are coming. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Oh, lost you there for a minute.
Hi, I'm Steve. You know, we're talking about things to be inspired for the new year, And over this past week, I've spent a lot of time looking and watching music performances, ballet performances, and all the wonderful art that we have out there that brings such beauty to our lives. And if we just keep focusing on all the beauty that's out there in the world, I really think that we can get through just about anything, because that's, as the quote was earlier this morning, it really does. This is where the work begins. Anyway.
Beauty, peace, and love.
Good morning. My name is Roy Stewie, and I'm a mahjong addict. But anyway, recently a friend sent a book about the purpose of the dog that is in your life, and it's about keeping you present, that a dog lives in the moment, and that is such an important lesson for the people that share that dog's life. And I just wanted to say that on last Friday, I went to mahjong at the Senior Citizen Center, and the tables were all full, and some folks invited me to come and play Rummy Cube. And a little tiny woman came shuffling up and sat down, and she was stone deaf, and she was yelling. And it was a great time. But anyway, she's 99 years old, and she's out there still making new friends. And it's just a lesson I took to heart. Stay in the present, be open, and make new friends.
And lived to 99.
I'm Patty Bryan, and just thinking about what gives me joy, my little dog Charlie gives me so much joy because he's never in a bad mood, and he inspires me. Anyhow, so if you find yourself unhappy, get a dog.
Good morning. My name is Linda Allen, and I was raised to be very independent as an only child. And I'm an avid reader, and when I was young, I was reading a lot of nature books, and I read about lemmings. Lemmings, everyone know what a lemming is? It's that little critter that if you jump off a cliff, everyone else jumps off with you. Well, I'm happy to say that I found a place where there are no lemmings, and it's here. And my joy is that Pam, my spouse, and I got to celebrate Christmas with my mother, who is, on Christmas Day, was 100 years and 8 months old.
Wow.
And that she enjoyed opening her presents, which teaches all of us. You just really have to live in the moment, as you say.
That's something.
8 years ago, Joan and I left Washington, left the diplomatic service because I could see the handwriting on the wall. We moved here. We came here the first Sunday we moved here, and Joanne stood up and said, "We are here because we're looking for light-minded, caring people." Well, 8 years later, we have come full circle. We're back in the same place. Joanne cannot be here this morning to say this, so I will say, we are still here looking for light-minded, caring people, and we have found them, and they will help us. You will help us all get through this next year and find a way forward.
Thank you. Uh-oh.
Hi, excuse me for not standing. I'll fall down if I do. I'm Mead Sommers. When you look at what's happening in the last year in the world, in the country, it can look pretty pessimistic, and you can say, well, we're about time for a miracle to start happening somewhere along the line. Well, Kath and I experienced something this last year that was a miracle, so they happen. Our granddaughter was caught underneath a boat in Lake Tahoe, and by all rights, the propeller should have hit her leg in a way that she bled to death immediately. It did hit her leg. She was fished out. Our daughter was very fast to put compression on it, and they ended up with a helicopter taking her to a hospital. But she was in very, very bad shape with that leg. A year later, she has worked like crazy to bring it back. She walks now. I got there. She has a new boyfriend. We visited them for 5 days just before Christmas, and she's on top of the world. She's going to school. She's driving a car. She walks around. You can hardly see a limp in it. So miracles happen. Cross your fingers.
Made me cry. Melanie Wicker. Several weeks ago, I said to my husband, I want to make 3 yard signs. And he's a carpenter, and he went out to his workshop, and he cut me 3 wooden pieces. And we worked together, and I painted them, and they say peace, justice, and love. We put them in our front yard, along with some white lights. And then we went up north to Pennsylvania, and we told my sons what we had done, and they joked about maybe there would be bullet holes in them when we got back. We got back, and there are no bullet holes in them. And those signs are staying up. After all the Christmas decorations are down, those signs are staying up in our yard.
Those were all nice and positive. Thank you. Okay, this is our morning meditation. I think that's where we are. This is by Kristen Green. Spirit of life and love, holy presence all around, embrace us with your wisdom and peace. Surround us with reassurance. Fill our hearts with purpose. Empower us to do what is right. May our hearts be expanded as the time comes for us to comfort each other. May our minds be charged with creativity as we find our way forward. May our spirits be guided by our values. May our lives speak. May they be gentle and angry, or loud and clear. May we remain united in our mission as people of faith to connect deeply, grow together, and serve one another. Now we'll have the musical meditation. So each took a piece of the year, and mine was the middle. And you'll see that mine is a little lighter than Joanne's or Skip's. Fires, tornadoes, even a quake. It's climate change, for heaven's sake. If shunning plastic is your way, celebrate Bike to Work Day. Merry Mary is the month of May. I've also learned it's World Laughter Day. Memorial Day has its solemn grace, honoring those who took their place. In Biden's debate, he did badly. His withdrawal came pretty sadly. Dear Kamala goes on the stump, intent on winning over Donald Trump. Lots of time on the longest day, fresh fruits and vegetables on the tray. With family and friends we do interact, making it easier from news to distract. The Celtics win NBA so nice. Florida does Stanley Cup on ice. A new face on the scene is Caitlin Clark. She delivers a whole lot of spark. Just when you think it's a whoops, the ball does sail right through the hoops. Baseball games are pretty boring. Some of us are just ignoring the jeers, the calls, the cheering shouts, fouls and strikes, balls and outs. If all these sports make you knockered, consider now World Cup soccer. Now, I tried to have Europe rhyme there, and I thought it was just Europe, so I looked up to see if it was Spain and France, because they'd be easy to rhyme. No, Brazil won it, so. If you call it soccer, it does annoy. They call it football, oh dear boy. If dogs are your thing, don't be smug. The winner this year, no kidding, a pug. Mexican neighbors take a vote and elect a female, all take note. Firework bursts and patriots claim July's freedom and unity flame. Palestine gets recognized in the news, slander and protests against the Jews. China has hacks we cannot trace, sends lunar mission into space. Asteroids seen with telescope's eye, science and satellites way up high. In the north, when August gets hot, trips to the beach just hit the spot. But Naples' heat of summer is burner and bummer. The Gulf just does simmer, so no one's a swimmer. We must confess the world's a zoo, but troubles at home can hit us too. We go to the doctor and take our pills. Nothing quite cures the other ills. And now I say, almost crying, people our age are slowly dying. Finally, I guess this poem ends, hoping you here will still be my friends.
So this is the new year, and I don't feel any different. The clanking of crystal, explosions off in the distance. In the distance, so this is the new year, and I have no resolutions. It's self-assigned penance. For problems with easy solutions. So everybody put your best suit or dress on. Let's make believe that we are wealthy for just this once. Lighting firecrackers off on the front lawn as 30 dialogues bleed into one. I wish the world was flat like the old days, and I could travel just by folding the map. No more airplanes or speed trains or freeways. There'd be no distance that could hold us back. There'd be no distance that could hold us back. There'd be no distance that could hold us back. This is the new year. So this is the new year. So this is the new year. So this is the new year.
It is my task to complete the description of the year. And as I do so, you will probably feel yourself being pulled back and forth because the juxtaposition of events doesn't seem to make sense to us. Unfortunately, the world does its thing, whether we're ready or not. So there'll be some tragedy, some trivial, some silly, some mundane. The end of August, school has begun. Our weekend meals program is underway. 5 public schools have identified students who are food insecure. 160 children need to be fed. Our committee is on it, and that's for sure. Our volunteers working week after week pack and deliver to cover each one. Your generous donations have helped this work get done. We turn the page to September. 'Tis the beginning of fall, I'm sure you remember. Elsewhere, the temperatures dip. Not so here in Naples. We're still in the 90s. The Gulf got as hot as ever it's been. And that led to trouble, soon to begin. Her name was Helene. No lady was she. A storm that wrought havoc on both land and sea. Damage was widespread, many lives lost. No way to imagine the trauma, the cost. UUCGN continued to advocate for Amendment 4 to see that all women had full rights once more. It was clear the idea was a majority pick. The obstacle here was that 60% trick. Another school shooting, this time in Georgia, and more have followed this year. So far, 18 have died, 56 are wounded. Yet little is yet done to tighten the reins on who owns a gun. Lest we despair, some news was much lighter. Joey Chestnut set a world record. Joey Chestnut. Now hush. He ate 83 hot dogs consumed in a rush. The month brought many losses. Celebrities dying, more than a few. Tito Jackson, James Earl Jones, Phil Donahue. There was Maggie Smith, Chris Christopherson, and Pete Rose, too. Then Kamala Harris and Donald Trump met. In debate, they engaged on a strange TV set. Few disagree who did best, who won. What became clear to the Donald is there will only be one. Let us remember the month of September is when football resumes. High school, college, and pro. Whom do you root for? And how do you know? Is it a place that you attended? Are you an alum? Or is it more simple, a place that you're from? October 7th, a sad anniversary, a second year of Mideastern strife, still hostages held, destruction of cities, an entire population dislodged, seen, in fact, not as people, but foes, adversaries. The weather wasn't with us. Of that, there's no doubt. It seems everywhere there is fire, flooding, or drought. As for its hurricanes, the Gulf brought us one more. This time it's Milton came rushing ashore. Again, Tampa St. Pete saw the worst, that's for sure. You may well think that climate change might ring a bell, something to be heeded, let science foretell. But from Tallahassee came something dumb. Climate change shan't be mentioned. About that, keep mum. Ignore all the science. Don't mention it. Nope. If you use such language, you might get a mouthful of soap. The deaths of more well-knowns brought forward our past. Ethel Kennedy, Fernando Valenzuela, Terry Gore. Those names are part of our memories, and time moves so fast. We also recall UU members we have lost this year. Richard Caden, Maureen Armour, Bill Green, Nora Wodsick, and James Taborek. Dear President Carter, a man wise and sage, advanced in his years to a milestone age, from 1924 to this year right now, 100, good golly and wow. Women's place in the sports world is now widely seen. The WNBA has a place on your TV screen. New York Liberty became the world champs. The men also played games like baseball and stuff. The Yanks lost to the Dodgers. About sports, that's enough. Last month saw our attendance rebound since all of our seasonal folks were in town. We've done a few things to update the place. Electronic doors make a more friendly space. To enter the building and restrooms, a breeze. Now, we are all free to come and to go as we please. Up front, you may notice the squeaking's no more. It too is accessible with a solid wood floor. Then came the elections. My hopes cruelly dashed. Our values ignored by the votes that were cast. Look back with revenge, add tariffs, deport. Our president-elect sure has a grudge to support. Sometimes I felt at the end of my rope, the votes seemed to say, choose despair over hope. I confess, I ran from the news altogether. I switched to Hallmark so I could feel better. A glimmer of good news in the Mideast, an attempted ceasefire. Will there ever be peace? We can hope and aspire. President Biden pardoned Hunter, his son. As a parent with power, what might you have done? Wicked hit the old movie screen. I'm told that it's a must to be seen. Laughter and tender, touching the heart. You know, it must be from Boston, because they are wicked smart. Notre Dame Cathedral took 97 years to build. It has stood for nearly 700 years. When fire destroyed it, all of France was in tears. 5 years of labor have brought back its glory, and all of the world can applaud such a story. Assad is toppled in Syria. Rebel forces have won. The Mideast continues to unravel. Another regime is undone. All of us hope for an end to that strife, and that what settles out provides for all a good life. My thanks to social justice. A giving tree this year. For the Youth Haven kids, some holiday cheer. In all of the sadness of families dismembered, it's good to remind them that they are remembered. The CEO of United Health was shot in New York. His shooter soon captured Luis Mangione. Some fear the big plan was not Thompson alone. Drones are seen flying in the northern sky, and as at last reports, no one seems to know why. Some late-breaking news for the end of the year. A science report that will make us all cheer. It turns out that love is healthy for you. Those who have love live better. It's true. They last a bit longer and are happier too. It seems oxytocin by love is released. Among other good things, your lifespan increased. Joanne, Kathy, and I have offered a glimpse of this year, now so tired. In 61 hours, this one will be done, this one having expired. Whom shall we be when this new one arrives? A people of silence or those who will thrive? This much remains at the end of December. There are 3 words we claim and remember. Yes, we have words to start the new year. Peace, justice, and love. We say them in this space. We must live them out loud. We seek truth with kindness, and we will not be bowed. Our hiding won't help. No more head in the sand. You and I are still able of making our stand. Our values don't change. We will not cower. We press on with conviction. Perhaps this is our hour. May we so live through the end of next year that we manifest love for all in our sphere. May it be so. Thank you. This is a special time of our service for me, a time to respond to who and what we are. When I shop online or when I go to a store, they dictate what it will cost. I have no choice. But here, now, in this place, it's up to me. What shall I do? This community, its staff, this facility offers me a chance to move past simply giving to express generosity. And to tell you the truth, when I do that, I feel really good. And wonder upon wonder, we all have that chance right now. Those watching can enjoy that feeling too. The information on the screen makes that easy to do. The ushers will receive today's generosity.
We have been weighed down by sadness like a stone. We have yearned. We have yearned. We have sometimes felt so utterly alone. While we turn, we've been stricken by the wonder of it all. Stricken dumb, stricken dumb. We have sometimes felt so faint we want to fall. Overcome, but all in all, I'd say this year in flight together has been fun. Would say we make one more circle around the sun. I'd say this year in flight together has been fun. Would say we make one more circle around the sun. We have raised our fists in anger and we've tried to work it out. To work it out, that we need each other, we cannot deny. There's no doubt, there's no doubt. So let us weave another dream in outer space while we're turning on this planet home that holds our human race. We're still learning. I'd say this year in flight together has been fun. What say we make one more circle around the sun? I'd say this year in flight together has been fun. What say we make one more circle around the sun.
Our closing song today is one we associate with New Year's Eve. It's an old Scots melody, Auld Lang Syne, which can be translated Times Gone By. It is often sung as a clock ticks past midnight amid grand celebration. Though many of us are no longer awake at that magical hour, there is no reason to deny ourselves a share of revelry. So, the words will be on the screen, we will sing the song, and while you are singing, be attentive, because we're going to offer some more celebration as you sing. And you'll see exactly what that means in just a minute. Ready?
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot in the days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll think a cup of kindness yet for the sake of Auld Lang Syne. And surely you will buy your cup, and surely I'll buy mine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for the sake of Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for the sake of Auld Lang Syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and gives a hand of thine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for the sake of Auld Lang Syne. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for the sake of Auld Lang Syne.
In the time of your life, live, so that in good times there shall be no ugliness or death for yourself or for any life your life touches. Seek goodness everywhere, and when it is found, bring it out of its hiding place, and let it be free and unashamed. In the time of your life, live, so that in that wondrous time you shall not add to the misery and sorrow of the world, but shall smile to the infinite delight and mystery of it. Happy New Year.